1 minute. That's often all the time you get to prove that you're the right hire. And if you walk into an interview without prepping for the biggest questions, you're walking into a trap. Today, I'm showing you the top 5 deceptively hard interview questions you must be ready for, and the wrong answers that's costing you jobs. And if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Yvette. I'm the founder of Polished and Hired, and I help Black women professionals revamp their resumes, LinkedIn's, and interview strategy so they can land roles that finally match their worth. Let's get started. First, let's talk about why this even matters. Interviewers ask these questions for a reason. They're not just making small talk. They're testing your story, your fit, and your mindset. If you can't answer the questions with clarity, authenticity, or strategy, you'll get lost even before the "tell me about yourself" ends. So let's walk through each question, the mistakes that you might be making, and how to flip it for impact. First, tell me about yourself. This is a deceptively hard question. It's very easy to start rambling and talking about things that don't matter. Here's an example of a wrong answer so you can hear it. Well, I'm just finishing up my current role. I've done some customer service stuff and I'm looking for something better. Now, why is this not great? It's vague, it's reactive, and it really lacks direction. Here's a much better answer. I'm a customer service professional with 8 years in fast-paced environments, skilled in turning frustrated clients into brand advocates. I've led projects that cut resolution time by 35%. And now I'm looking to bring that experience into a role where I manage client programs end to end and help shape strategy. There we go. Let's talk about the next one. What are your salary expectations? Here's the wrong answer. Well, I don't really know. I'm open. And here's another wrong answer. Well, in my last role, I made this much. Both of those are not great. They signal a lack of research, a lack of value, and often lead to underselling, especially if you mention how much you made in your last role. If you do this, you are putting a cap on your salary potential. Here's a better answer. Well, based on my research for this market and the scope of this role, I'm looking at a range between X and Y. I'm flexible depending on total compensation and growth opportunities. Here's a third question. Why should we hire you? And the wrong answer is, because I'm a hard worker and I learn fast. This is generic. It doesn't link to the company's needs at all. A much better approach would be, you should hire me because you're looking for someone who can drive program outcomes while managing shifting priorities. In my last role, I launched a cross-department initiative that saved 20% in costs and improved delivery time by 15%. I'm ready to bring that same level of initiative and measurable impact here. The fourth question, and this one is to test your composure. I see this gap in your resume. Tell me about it. The wrong answer is, well, I took a break to figure things out and I wasn't sure what I needed. Another wrong answer is, well, I was laid off and I fell into depression. I haven't really done anything since then. Both of them raise red flags and they sound indecisive or just incapable of commitment. Neither is what you want to sound in this interview. Here's a better approach. Yes, I stepped away from the workforce for 18 months due to caregiving responsibilities. During that time, I managed household priorities and oversaw logistics for multiple projects. That experience sharpened my problem solving, budget management, and adaptability. And now I'm fully re-engaged and eager to bring that expertise into a professional role. Here's the last question. Tell me about a time you failed. I've noticed that this question is especially difficult for some of my clients because you have to be strategically vulnerable in this one. You have to talk about how you missed the mark, but show what you did or how you learned from it for the next round. Here's the wrong answer. In my first role, I messed up a project and the client was upset. I learned from that. But it lacks specific outcome, reflection, and the next action. Sure, you say I learned from that, but You don't say how you implemented that learning. What did you do to resolve that current client issue, or how did you improve it for the next one? Here's a better answer. In my previous project, I underestimated resource needs and the launch was delayed. I communicated the delay to stakeholders immediately. I reallocated resources and implemented a postmortem that reduced future delays by 40%. That taught me early escalation, transparency, and continuous improvement, skills I now bring intentionally. All right, so now you may be thinking, okay, those are 5 deceptively hard questions, sure. But how can I prepare for the other questions that may get thrown my way during an interview? I am so glad you asked. Here's your practice plan. First, look at your resume and think of some questions that might arise from an employer's perspective. If there are career gaps, if you didn't finish your education, if you have limited experience. If they bring those up, then those are the ones that you want to prepare for. Use the STAR method to answer them. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. Practice your answers out loud once a day this week. You can set a timer for 60 seconds and then stop when it ends. You can record yourself actually and watch for filler words like or kind of, and then replace them with a clear pause. This process isn't about memorization, it's just about feeling ready and confident. If you're serious about walking into interviews prepared and polished without panic, I've got your back. The Polished Pivot Career Bundle includes the resume templates tailored for high impact roles, the LinkedIn strategy guide to get you seen, and the interview prep question and answer sheet that covers all of these questions and much more. The sale for this ends tonight, so don't wait. Click the link in the description, grab your bundle, and show up ready. Because your next interview shouldn't be a hope, it should be a strategy. Listen, if you were invited to the interview, that means you're qualified. So don't doubt your value, reinforce it. It's time to walk into those interviews and show up as the solution that you are. Thank you so much for watching this video. More value is headed your way. Until then, like, subscribe, and share this with another Black woman who needs it. And let's get you polished and hired.